Howdy, everybody. I'm going to have a video blitz today because I got behind on videos because I'm so busy with the Venus retrograde class and many readings. It seems that this energy is so intense that everybody and everybody wants, to find out what's going on in their chart. So if you look at if you are thinking of having a consultation, I did block my calendar off temporarily till the end of April because I just need to make some adjustments so that I can manage my energy. So later today, hopefully, I'll find time to sort my calendar out, and then there will be slots available again. But anyway, let's dive in because I'm going to dive into the eclipse. I do want to try and make this as fast as possible because I tend to ramble on, but also I've got so much going on and I've got a call due in 33 minutes. So we have a lunar eclipse coming up on March the 14th. And this eclipse is at 23 Virgo, one of my favorite signs, and it's conjunct the South Node. It's a blood red moon eclipse, so it will be total, and the totality is actually right over the USA. Because it's happening overnight in the USA. This is set for Washington time. So this eclipse is huge for the USA just because it covers, like you can look actually on timeanddate.com. If you search timeanddate.com eclipses, you will find it and you can see a map of the path. It covers the whole of the USA, apart from a little bit of Alaska, the totality. So this is big. Not only though, it's also because it's a full moon lunar eclipse. It's opposing the sun in Pisces, and Saturn is conjunct the sun on the eclipse. And this is also forming a wedge pattern to Uranus that has now left the 23-degree mark that it stationed um, direct at. Now, 23, you've heard me talking about before. It's the most human of numbers, the number of pairs of DNA that we have. I don't think there's a lot of talk about a 24th chromosome. Now, there is some evidence of abnormalities. Some people have like an extra chromosome that's a copy of one they have already. There's an ancient myth about 24th chromosome coming back. Who knows? But 23 just resonates because 23 is also the number of seconds it takes for the blood to go around the body. It's the number of days in a biorhythm cycle. And it's also the number of digits we have: 10 fingers, 10 toes, 2 ears, and a nose. And it makes a 5. And 23 and 5 is the Venus number, and Venus is intimately connected to our physicality as human beings. So and it's also the number of chaos magic, by the way. And this is a 5-day as well. 1 plus 4 is 5, and 5 is a number of change. And this is a mutable sign, so there's some big change coming here. Sorry about that. And it's a 3 months, and this is 5 plus 3 makes an 8, which is stability. But it's 8 plus 9 is 17. It's also an 8 universal day. So I think this full moon is going to be massive, a massive release, a massive shift to bring us back into some kind of stability for infinity. But it's going to be change. It's going to be big change, and it's going to be radical change, shocking change in some way. This is just massive, because we've also got Neptune at the end of Pisces here, which is the anaretic degree, and it's the most critical degree in the zodiac. Well, there's two: 29 degrees Pisces and 0 Aries. 0 Aries is the Aries point. It's kind of point of creation, and this is the point of dissolution or destruction. So, we are in this time of everything kind of falling apart to be rebuilt. We're really in kind of a tower moment in so many ways. But I do still think we're going to be all right. Because also the nodes are at 27 degrees, and the Um, Interesting that this is my ascendant for the Washington chart. Oh. But anyway, this is also the galactic center at 27 Sagittarius is squaring the nodes. This makes, again, adds to the strength of this massive shift of big information coming in to our psyche and our consciousness. All right. We're also a day from Mercury stationing retrograde, and Virgo is Mercury guided, so that's indicating more change. This is a tide turning, earth shattering, earth shifting full moon. It's such a big eclipse, I cannot tell you. But of course, it is a Virgo eclipse. And even though we are, like by precession, moving into the age of Aquarius, we're also in many ways moving into the age of the Priestess, because the fixed star Regulus moved into Virgo in November 2011, and Regulus is the royal star, and Regulus is still sitting at 0 Virgo because it only moves a degree every 72 years, right? And gradually the nodes will move towards Regulus, but the nodes are in Virgo and Pisces for the first time since the south nodes in Virgo, for the first time since Regulus moved into the sign of Virgo. Now, to my mind, with it being on the south node and Virgo being very much kind of about details and matter and fact, Virgo likes like the analysis and likes to know the details and likes the filing cabinets. This is letting go of the details of how things were and bringing in the goddess, in my opinion, or the divine feminine, whatever you want to say, and bringing in the priestess energy. It's just so beautiful. I cannot tell you. I am kind of constantly mind blown by the energies we're having now, but also the fact that the Sun and Saturn are close together. Now, Saturn has been both revealing and dissolving the patriarchy, the old rules, the old man-made rules, how we've clung onto those. All of that's being dissolved by some of it by a chaos agent, but also their old way of being patriarchal has been revealed. Everything always has a bit of a yin yang to it. I think this is kind of their last hurrah, if you like. I really do. I've thought this for a long time. I was surprised how strong it came in, really. But if you tie in that whole story, we had over 2,000 years of Regulus in Leo, which is like the oligarch. It is the king. It is the ruler. It is wealth and riches and so on like that. It's also other things, but it was in the time of kings, or the time of, the kind of Midas and gold, like whoever that reminds you of as well. And so we've now moving into Virgo, and this eclipse, to my mind, is going to radically release our attachments to that old way of being and move us into this more humble, practical, spiritual, for want of a better word, compassionate age and time of the goddess. So, there's so much going on. Add to that we have Mars still in Cancer. Mars has moved off the degree he's stationed direct at, moved off, I think, March the 6th. But he's in a trine to Vesta, which is your inner flame and the state. And that is making a watery grand trine to Nessus, revealer of abuses of power. But remember, the centaurs really have come in to help us to heal. Nessus might have been revealing that so we could see it, and where we've abused our own power over ourselves and others. but we've come in to heal and um, to let it go, all this water, to let it wash away and dissolve, and let the waves of compassion and love wash away all this old energy. This is so big. I cannot tell you. Everything is so big at the moment, and it's all piling up in the Venus retrograde in so many ways. It's just kind of madness. Also, as I record this on Friday, March the 7th, just a week before the eclipse, Hecate has stationed retrograde at 13 degrees, the number of the goddess. And Hecate is very much associated with showing us our way forward at a crossroads. And she's at the number of the goddess or the witch, 13, much maligned number because, the feminine has been maligned. And also, look at this, Jupiter, the old king of the gods, is at 13 Gemini. There's more I could say about that, but he's in an aspect of adjustment to the Scorpio energy. And water is feminine energy. And this, of course, is feminine within all of us. This is calling to the energy of the feminine within both genders, physically, or all genders, however you identify. It's calling to bring into balance and balance out that very yang doing, like, light obsessed energy that we have been in for so long. Now, I'm not saying light is bad, but I'm talking about how we try to block out the dark, because there are two sides to the dark as well. The dark, there is the healthy dark, the dark of feeling, the dark of receptivity, the dark of connection. And then there is, what we kind of generally think of as, the dark, as in kind of evil, but there's also a bad side to light. We say light workers, and we go, everything, shine in the light, shine in the light. But then we've literally become this society that is obsessed with light. I walk every morning, and most mornings, it's a bit crappy weather at the moment, but I start out really early, and at this time of year, all I see are houses with so much light on the outside of their houses. Why? Why do they have to light the outside of their houses all night? I don't know. And we leave lights on all night, and we have all this. We're just blocking out the stars with other things as well, and we're blocking out the dark. And we are being asked to get comfortable with the shadows, the dark, the feelings, the emotions, all that yin energy. And Virgo at its highest is really this kind of humble, service oriented, finding meaning, wanting to do good and useful work in the world. And then Pisces is like the height of higher love and compassion. So this is really a powerful, powerful full moon. There's loads more I could say about the astrology, but I'm not going to. This eclipse, it is a blood red moon, which is often feared, and I think some people may have reason to fear it. I'm meeting Kathy again, and we're going to look at some charts, but not everybody will. If you're in integrity and in alignment and trusting and having faith that if you keep doing the right thing, everything's going to flow and everything's going to come back, and we're going to be okay. We're going to support each other and love each other. I always feel like this is like a socialist kind of eclipse, and I'm not talking about the outright socialism where it's like taking over the means of production and all kinds of things like that, but it's that caring. It's what I would call benefic socialist programs. Let's create things and build them up that take care of the least able to take care of themselves in whatever area. That was the whole thesis, I think, of the National Health Service and things when they were set up in the UK back then. It was from the cradle to the grave. It was like, even if you have this bad time, you will be cared for. You know, and yes, of course, no program is perfect, but it's just this energy of people coming together to care for each other is all I'm talking about. And to support each other instead of being all about what can I hoard, the greedy, the King Midas touch, you know, the gold, and hoard, 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 hoard. Anyway, there's my preaching. So I'm going to read the symbols, and then I'm going to pull a card for this amazing full moon. I'm just like, oh, please bring it on. Let's have it, you know, let's have it now. And of course, I can't find my window. There it is. I found it. So I'm going to shuffle while I read the symbols. I'm going to start with John Sandbacher's symbols. So I'm going to read all of them. But I think I'm saving the Sabian symbol this time because this one really speaks to me. So Virgo 24, a satyr sleeping, standing up, roots are growing from his hooves into the ground, interacting, responsible. Now, a satyr reminds me of, a satire is almost like, it's a male nature spirit with ears and a tail resembling that of a horse. So it's similar in nature, really, to the centaurs in some way. But anyway, it's kind of like half spirit, half animal, half, you know. I think these things are to remind us that we are fully human and to get grounded, growing our hooves into the ground. Okay. So, and then the degree angel is Omael, which is building bridges, fertility, multiplicity, and defeats frustration, despair, and depression. So call on angel Omael. You have the ability to always be in touch with the earth, with practicality. So Virgo, with what is. You also have the power of feeling at home wherever you are, and of using any and all situations for personal sustainment and learning. You are tremendously patient and will do whatever it takes to accomplish your tasks, no matter how long this may take or how complicated the road may become. That's the interpretation of that Omega symbol, the satire symbol. Now, the Chandra symbol is a silver trident. Oh my goodness, that's like Poseidon or Neptune, and Neptune's at that last degree. But anyway, and really part of this eclipse. Here is combined the trident, which is the symbol for the planet Neptune, and the metal of the moon, which is silver. This degree has to do with refining and perfecting of the intuition, and also the ability to nurture and serve an ideal. There is a conflict here between Virgo's desire to be accurate, clear, and precise versus their need to listen to emotions, instincts, and the psychic self. These two sides of one's being can seem to be at war with each other, but it is through their interaction that both sides are empowered. This degree always wants to go deeper into the meaning of existence, just as the roots on the bottom of the satyr's foot are growing deep into the ground. It will analyze something from every angle possible. It will get into finer and finer details of whatever it is dealing with. It may discover new things that have never been found or considered before. But ultimately, it always needs to realize that the intellectual mind is just a tool, and that its rightful place is as a tool to serve the greater reality than itself, which can only be merged with rather than ever completely objectified. Wow. So the Pleiadian symbol is the rechanneled Sabian symbol, and that's a little girl hugging a puppy. So it's like the inner child coming together with the animal self almost. Anyway, it's cute. But the Azoth symbol, which is kind of the very root symbol, is a feeling of deep connection among a small group of friends, so that we can feel this connection and community coming back, right? So the Sabian symbol, wow. So most of you will probably remember this nursery rhyme. But the symbol is Mary and her little lamb. Now, James Burgess, he says this is the spiritual practice of innocence. He says the more we progress in spiritual maturity, the more we radiate childlike qualities of purity and spirit. However, I read this as Mary Magdalene, or the Marys, or all the priestesses. Most of the divine feminine in the Bible were named Mary, by the way. And there's so many Marys in the Bible that were significant, but most of all is Mary Magdalene, who really is related to Venus. And she was called, in some ways, she was often called the Lamb. Jesus was called the Lamb of God too. You know, there's lambs and innocence, but what this is talking about is that purity of love, all right, that childlike simplicity of being that protects from attachment to pride and also softens all the situations we encounter, adding a spontaneity and lightness of being to life. So, you know, you be Mary and connect with your little lamb, you know, and find that energy in you, whatever to do, whatever it takes, you know, whether you know, those in my Venus retrograde class are getting this as well. This is, you know, we are finding that pure innocence of being again. We're not quite out of the tunnel yet, but this eclipse is just a huge step in that direction. So I'm going to pull a card for this eclipse, but please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, leave me comments, give me thumbs up. I'm going to meet Kathy and a new guest in about an hour after I record this, so that'll be going up too. I'm also going to do the general week ahead as well video today at some point. Oh, okay. We get the Sun. Always the nicest card. Well, one of the nicest cards. The Sun, the Sun, the Sun, which is your very core of being, really. It is the Sun. You are the Sun in many ways. So I just need to find the page that this card is on, because this is a new deck. This is the Red Thread Tarot, by the way, by Linda Hill out of the UK, and it's available on Etsy, and I get no money for it. So this is the Sun, and in this deck, this actually represents Dionysus, okay? Dionysus was very mercurial in many ways, to be honest, and there were cults of Dionysus in the ancient times where people just kind of celebrated the magic of being. And this card is I Am Joy. It says to worship Dionysus is to worship the life force. Ecstasy was once considered a divine gift. And that's from Robert Johnson. Ecstasy, Understanding the Psychology of Joy. Oh, I think I might need to go and get his book on that, because he was a wonderful psychologist who wrote some great little books. But listen to this. The Sun is a masculine principle. It wasn't always in all cultures, but it is at the moment, and a symbol of the ego. And Sun rules Leo. This is going back to what I'm talking about, you know, about moving out of the over 2,000 years of Regulus in Leo. But anyway, it's a symbol of the ego, which is you can have a healthy ego and a not unhealthy ego, expressing how we see our conscious self and how we relate to others. This gigantic hot star continues to honor us with its glory, brilliance, and warmth, which it has done since life arose on our planet. Anyway, wrap yourself in the warmth of love, deep joy and positivity, for the sun is shining on you and honoring your empowerment, individuality, and independence. Your vitality, self-confidence, inner strength, and optimism will be at an all-time high. Make use of it, for these are golden days. The sun rises and another day dawns, and the sun sets and the night is before us. Celebrate this star that we so often take for granted. Give thanks for the life it gives us. We are illuminated. Wow. So this is our center. And this is Dionysus, who I believe I read a book called The Immortality Key, which is a really good book. He was trying to find the origins of the Eucharist, which many believe is psychosomatic drugs, like there was a thing called the Kikion and so on. And, there's things that other cultures take, and mushrooms and things like that take us into these states. They're believed to have been used in a lot of the mystery cults many years ago. But another interesting fact is that beneath the Vatican, in the catacombs and the tunnels underneath the Vatican, there's a ton of stuff hidden away about Dionysus and his cult. And I hate to say it, but the Pope's not doing very well. And many people believe that this was the last Pope. Yeah, I kind of like that Pope, but I don't like the whole organization. So maybe that that structure of the patriarchy is going to shift and change or collapse as well. Just saying. Anyway, it's, to my mind, this eclipse is to be embraced, especially for those of us that want the old ways to die out and to move into this new paradigm that we are doing. This is not wishing ill will on anybody. This is about our way of life and being. So celebrate yourself, operate from joy, to quote my friend Nora Herald. Embrace this energy of this big moon. Let go of any limiting beliefs that life is not to be enjoyed and to be meaningful, and that you can do meaningful work in the world, whether it's paid work or whatever, and we can care for each other. Time for a love revolution, right? See you soon.